Anybody can pick up MIG welding. David has volunteered to weld. Plus, you're going to learn something from it, right?
Yeah.
Are you wondering why I'm wearing my welding hood today? Well, it's because I want to show you how to MIG weld step by step by step. And your mind is going to be blown, even if you've never welded before, folks. You're going to walk away from today's video and you're going to be thinking, yep, I think I can do it. And you can. Now, our friends over at ARCCAPTAIN, okay, they sent us their latest MIG welder. It's the 205 DP Pro, and it makes real easy work of it. Now, what we're going to do today is, like I said, I'm going to take you step by step through it, show you how to set things up, how to get a welding, what makes for a good weld, and maybe not such a good weld. And you're going to walk away and you're going to think, I'm ready. So why don't we just dive right into it? Now, at the top of the video, I talked about teaching you today how to MIG weld, and I'm going to do that. But many of you are probably thinking, but wait a second, isn't there other kinds of welding? There's TIG, I've heard of stick welding, flux core welding. There are those other welding methods, but I want to tell you this, okay? MIG is by far the easiest for a beginner to learn. MIG welding is easy. It's kind of like if you're riding a bicycle with training wheels, because all you have to worry about in MIG welding really is your hand speed and your distance to the metal that you're joining. The MIG welder really kind of does the rest. Now we're going to talk about protective attire. Little sparks fly, and those little sparks, man, they really hurt and they burn your skin. So even if you don't have a welding jacket, just wear long sleeves, okay? Protect your arms. You'll want gloves to protect your bare hands. Must have a hood, or some folks call it a welding helmet. And the reason for it is it protects your eyes. You know, you can't really look at that arc that's coming off your gun, because if you did, believe it or not, it's going to burn your eyes. Now, these are some of the tools and items that you're going to need to get welding. Right up front here, these are magnets, and they're going to help hold your project or whatever it is that you're welding in place. These are grinders here. Now, I've got two, but you just need one. I have two for ease of operation. One has a cutting wheel on it, the other has a sanding disc on it. Now, the sanding disc here is important, folks. You got to get one of these. The reason I say that is because you need nice, clean metal. If it's rusted, dirty, painted, you got to get that off of there, because a good weld starts with clean metal, so you want to get this. Now, this right here, these are welding pliers here, and one of the most important aspects of these are they allow you to clip the end of your wire off of your gun, and you're going to want to do that with each and every weld. This right here, this white stick, this is what's called soapstone, and soapstone is what you use to mark your project with. Okay, and the reason why you use soapstone is because it won't burn away. It will remain visible, so you want to use soapstone to mark it with. This right here is what's called a digital caliper, and you use your digital caliper to determine the thickness of the metal that you're using, because see, that all factors into the settings on your welding machine. The other thing you'll notice is this right here, this metal welding table. You want to use a metal welding table because you're going to ground your table, and when you ground your table to your welder, it means that the project that you're working with, the metal project, is grounded as well. Having a pair of clamping pliers like these are also very useful. I want to remind you that ARCCAPTAIN was the company nice enough to provide the MIG welder used in today's video. Now, it's their latest model yet. It's the MIG 205 DP Pro. And I got to tell you, I love it. It's a breeze to set up. I'm going to show you how to weld, but I also want to mention this. It's user-friendly, but it's also beginner-friendly too. So why don't we just, let's just jump into it. I want to introduce you to my brother David. You guys all know David. David works in the trades as well, but he's never welded. So to show you how easy it is to weld, or maybe not how easy it is, but anybody can pick up MIG welding, David has volunteered to weld. Plus, you know, you're going to learn something from it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I look?
Yeah, you look pretty good. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. You got to be safe. You want to remain safe, and to be safe, I see you're wearing long sleeves. That's really important. You got your hood on. But the other thing, folks, is your gloves need to be dry. You don't want to work with damp gloves or damp clothing. You certainly don't want to be standing in dampness because this is electricity. Okay? So the way it works is you have to think of a welder a lot like a light bulb. You know, you turn on the electricity and it heats up the filament and then it brightens the room. Okay? So when you're welding, what happens is electricity flows to your gun and creates an arc. And that arc is hotter than the surface of the sun.
That's pretty hot.
That's pretty hot. So what that allows you to do is melt metal. Now you've got a little piece of wire coming out, and that wire and the metal that you're melting, it joins together, and then when it cools off, it's all one solid piece. It's not like soldering. That joint is only as strong as the solder. But when you weld, it melts both and blends them together, and it's one solid piece. And that's the difference right there. So we're melting the metal with our welder. And that's why I say, folks, we want to stay safe, right? And as long as we're doing everything we should, we're going to be okay. This right here is our grounding clamp. You ground the welding table because electricity needs a complete path to flow. All right, Dave and everyone else, let me show you how to handle your gun. Now, what you want to do is you want to be no further than a ½ inch away from your project. And you want to hold the gun upright like this and then tip it 10 to 15 degrees. And you want to push. There is a tendency to want to whip your wrists. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it fixed like so. And what I do is I move my bottom arm to create a steady movement. Now there's something called manipulation where you take your gun and you do cursive E's as you weld, or you do tight little circles as you weld. And what this does is it creates something called fish scale or stacked dimes. And it's just a very eye-appealing weld bead. And that's about all. Now you don't have to do that. You can simply just push in a straight line with your gun. What sets this welder apart and what makes it such a great tool for beginners is that the MIG 205 DP Pro, you don't have to do that manipulation. Does it for you. It has something called double pulse MIG, and it makes it really easy for beginners to get really great results really quickly. Because what it does is it creates the beautiful stack of dimes or that fish scale pattern in your weld bead without you doing those cursive E's, all right? All right, this is our nozzle here, and if you notice, we've got wire coming out, all right? Now that wire is much too long, it's called stick out. So what we want to do is we want to clip this off, but we want it to be a certain length. And what that length needs to be is 3/8 to ½ inch. I like to keep it, folks, at about ½ inch. So there you go. Every time you stop welding, before you start welding again, you want to make certain that you clip off the tip. Listen for the sound of sizzling bacon, because that's how your weld should sound. And if you get a whole lot of snap, pop, crackle, and all like that, you know, folks, something's not quite right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set the parameters for our weld here. We're going to open up the cabinet. Now I want you to check this out. This is a guide that helps you set the parameters. Now this is not hard and fast rules here. You may have to make adjustments. Now what you have to take a look at is the size of the wire you're using and the material you're using. Maybe you're using steel. Maybe it's stainless steel. Maybe it's aluminum. Well, this takes it all into consideration and tells you, based on the material, its thickness in the wire, what wire speed you need and what the voltage needs to be. Now I want you to check out the LCD screen animations. Right now it's selected flux core. No, we're using MIG, so we're going to select MIG. There we go. Now it wants to make certain that the polarity is correct. We've done the right thing, and so we selected OK. Going down here, the material, we want steel. We're going to select steel. We're moving right along here. A wire size. And our wire size is going to be 0.035, selecting that. Now the kind of gas is argon CO2 mix.
and what kind of welding we plan to do. Listen, we're going to practice first. So we're just going to, well, why don't we just go with butt, because we're going to be laying it flat. And our gauge of metal, we're going to select 18 gauge. There we go. Now just make certain you follow the prompts. It'll get you generally in the ballpark of where you need to be in terms of voltage and wire speed, but you still may need to make an adjustment here and there. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of scrap metal, we're going to clamp that to the table, Dave, and we're going to allow you to take the gun and just get used to it. You know, experiment, try to get a feel for the gun, and then what we'll do is I'm going to weld. I'll do an inside corner for you, I'll let you then do an inside corner, and we'll see what kind of results you get. There's our weld there, and I like it. It's a good weld. Could I have been a little straighter? Yeah, I could have been a little straighter with my weld.
Welding.
Dave, you did a pretty good job.
You had me worried there for a second.
No, here's the thing. You got a little bit of a dip, but for the most part, that's a pretty nice weld.
Now I want to hear from you in the comments. I want to hear whether or not MIG welding is something that you think you want to go for, or maybe it's TIG you want to learn, or maybe it's stick welding, or maybe you want to come in ground level there at FlexCore Welding. I want to thank our sponsor, ARCCAPTAIN, because they made today's video possible for all of us. So I want you to check out the link in the description below. Show them a little love, okay? This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time. So here's our power cord here, and if you look at it, it may look a lot like a dryer power cord because it's 220 volts. Maybe you're thinking, well, wait a second, I don't think I can use that. Included an adapter for 110 volts that makes it possible for you to just, reduce the voltage. Now that we've got our power cord taken care of, now it's time to move on to the CO2 argon gas. This right here is a bottle, and that's what holds the gas. This right here, just a protective cap, and we're just going to take that off, just like so, and it exposes where we need to attach our hose to and our regulator. This is our hose, and this is what our regulator looks like. Now we're at the front of our welder, and this right here, this is for polarity, okay? And we got to plug it in. And there are two places that we can plug in, positive or negative. Now, because we're doing MIG welding, we want to plug right into our positive. If we were doing FlexCore welding, then we would plug into the negative. Now it's time to install our grounding clamp. You usually clamp this to the table or to the work project that you're working on. Now we take it and we plug it right into our negative, we turn it, now we're good to go. This is our welding gun here, and now it's time to install that as well. It plugs right in here. If you notice that it has like little buttons that will line up with this here. There's only one way to install it, is basically what I'm saying to you. Now it's time to install our wire, and to do so I'm going to turn the welder around on its side here. There's a little door here we're going to open up, and inside is where we install our wire. Now I got to tell you, ARCCAPTAIN did think of everything because they provide the wire as well. You want the label facing outward. The back does not have a label, and you want it going counterclockwise. So let's install this now, just like so. Then we're going to put this on. We're going to install our spring here. It's a little tricky, folks. And then, of course, our nut. Now, I got to tell you, hand tight really is enough when you're putting it in. But when you go to remove it, sometimes it gets a little tight on you. There are a couple flat spots here. You can put a wrench on to take it off. Now, this is called a guide wheel, and this is the wheel that our wire rides on.
and they give you a few different wheels depending upon the thickness of the wire that you're using. Now what I'll say is each wheel can accommodate 2 different widths wire. It all depends on what side you use. Each side is stamped with a different number. So just make certain that you're using the proper size. Now ours is a 0.9 and we want 0.9 to be closest to the back of our welder. This is our tensioner, and to install our guide wheel we just need to open this up. There we go, that flips that open, and we have to take this off. It's like a little nut. We take our guide wheel and we slide it on. Now it's time for us to feed our wire through the welder. There's a little opening down here that we're going to feed our wire through. Now on the other side is going to push through, and there's also another little tube with an opening here. We have to hand feed it through. All right, so we're feeding it through. Not very far, just enough. Now I'm going to pull this down and lock it into place. Just adjust the tensioner down. Now we're on the back side of our welder here. We're just going to turn it on. Now what I have to do is this wire that I just installed, I've got to run it through this cable all the way to our gun. And what I need to do is I need to stretch it out and make it straight so there are no kinks in it. But before I do that, I want to pull the trigger a couple times and make certain that it's advancing. Not a whole lot, just enough to know that it's advancing, because once I stretch it out, I won't be able to see it. Now make certain you take your nozzle and your contact tip off of your gun before you run the wire through. I'm going to turn on my gas here. This gauge here lets me know what I've got left in my bottle. This over here, we're going to open it up, and we want it to read between 17 and 25, so we're going to aim for 25. There we go. And I'm going to pull the trigger here. That's good.